Uh, Thank you muno mwiroreri wa Dr. Paul Kibicho YouTube channel na nidamugeithia inyuothe o rita ringi mahinda maya ma hwaini na damu welcome officially tugia na mahinda ma guthoma maundu meri matatu megiĩ ũhoro wa gũthondeka ũtonga. My discussion with you today basically is what we call wealth building secrets. Everybody in his own capacity or her own capacity tries as much as he can to ensure that he creates wealth for himself or for his family members. Whichever the case, one of the things that we must understand is that creating wealth is not an educational thing. It's not a tribal thing. It's not a denominational thing. It is not, for instance, an inheritance. Well, there are those people who get wealth through what we call inheritance, or who get property and assets bequeathed to them by their loved ones. But in my case today, I want us to look at what are these secrets? What is it that has made some people to be very rich and others are still struggling in life? What is it, or where do we go wrong? Majority of us, we spend so much working extra hard, sometimes even work for long hours, but our financial status has remained the same for quite a long time. And the biggest question is, could we be pressing on the wrong buttons? Or what could it be the reason as to why we have not yet been able to make a total breakthrough in terms of creating wealth? Everybody desires to create wealth. Number one, I want to make it categorically clear and emphatically very, very clear that wealth is a relative. There are those people who buy a bicycle and to them, they have been able to reach their ultimate goal in life of defining their wealth. There are those other guys like Sir Richard Branson, who is capable of even buying a space shuttle worth 1.5 trillion Kenya shillings, and he's still not yet satisfied with what he has. So we need to appreciate, number one, what is wealth. And my advice to all of you, especially those who take a bit of time to read, I would recommend a book written by two doctors. One is called Dr. Thomas J. Stanley, and the other one is called, his co-author is Dr. William D. Danko. They have written a book which is Millionaire Next Door. I wish you can read that book. The only unfortunate thing about us Kenyans, and I'm a Kenyan too, is that we don't love reading. Majority of us people, we don't love reading. As a matter of fact, some people, believe you me, when they go for seminars, they buy books, but they don't read. I have sold very many books in my entire career since I started writing books. But some of us people, we do not even take some time to ask ourselves, what is it that takes other men and women to be in their levels that they are in, whereas we are still struggling in the periphery, when men and women are enjoying what we call good life at the epicenter? What ought to be done? What do we require to do? What is it? What drives men and women to the levels that they are in? Could it be that they are more enthusiastic in their way of doing things? Could they be having more passion? Could they be having more resilience? Are they more resilient? Are they more tenacious in their lives? Are they agile? What is it that makes them move to the levels that they are in? I've already made a recommendation for you. This book by Dr. Thomas J. Stanley, PhD, and Dr. William D. Danko, PhD. It is called The Millionaire Next Door. Allow me now, we go to what we call the secrets that what made Chris Kirubi to be the billionaire he was before he passed on. What made Chris Kirubi to continually keep on coming up or forming many companies? Remember, he was there, Hako Industries, the International Lifehouse, the Two Rivers, among others. What is it that propelled him to do those kind of businesses? What about the rate on Nabojeka Karume? What is it that he was doing? What about Meshuki? We've not had any criminal engagement of Meshuki. We have not gotten to those kind of stories that we hear from some rich people whose wealth is questionable, whose wealth is actually does not add up. So I want to advise you. Thank you very much, Madam Modhoni Wakamau. Hello, Daktari. I got the Robert Shamin book about the Idiot Rich. Great book. Thank you so much. Karibu. Karibu, Madam Modhoni. I'm proud of you. Those are the kind of people that I want to be associating myself with. That once you make a recommendation, they don't take a whole risk 5 days thinking of something that would have been done spot on. Thank you so much. Gabriel Geshia, I look forward to meeting you. You're still at Taveta University. Mr. Michael Kimeri, I met you the other day. Thank you so much. And I'll be explaining that point as we move on. So what do? Rich men, you'll be surprised. Rich men don't go, they do not go showing us. They don't go for a showcasing episodes and what we call escapades. No, they spared less on material things than their peers. So if you are to become rich in life, if you are to become wealthy in life, you must actually be very cautious when it comes to what we call spending money on unnecessary things. Because one of the things that has made us people not to be very rich, not to be where we decided to be at this point in time, it is because we spend more money on immaterial things. So for the rich man, for you to become wealthy, you must learn to spend less on material things than your colleagues. And these guys who are wealthy, you normally use what we call, they employ several strategies to build on their wealth. And that is where I've told you that even this man called Dr. Chris Kirubi, who passed on the other day, he was not contented with one investment. The problem with most of us people is that when you establish one business venture, you spend your lifetime there. That is not the way. Who told you that? Fine, we appreciate the benefits that comes from specialization. Yeah, it works. Specialization works, but not all the times. We need to do what we call diversification. We need to diversify and see what else we can do to be able to maximize our returns. So like now, I've talked about Kirubi. If you go to Kirubi's to Rivers, it is actually a fun world. It is like Disney World in France. He had so many things that he was doing. Anytime you think of using a pen, this money, Kirubi was consuming some money from me. Anytime you think of a toilet paper, he was there. So these are guys who would not actually mind taking goods and services to masses because there are benefits of actually selling goods to masses. So rich men or wealthy men and women, they spend less on material things than their friends, and they also employ various methods of making money. They normally employ various strategies to build on their wealth. The other thing that they do that most of us people don't do, and I'm saying this because I've interacted with majority of you people, not necessarily you who is actually watching me on my YouTube, but I've done a very, very extensive research on what I'm saying here. That you see, they set and achieve goals. Where are the people? They set and achieve goals. So one of the things that makes people to achieve something in this world of God is by setting goals that you follow to the letter. Majority of us people, we start something today, tomorrow we are out of it. I have seen people that have sold insurance too without prejudice. You sell somebody a policy with a reason because he's not buying it for fun. But after 3 years, this character has withdrawn the money. Then he goes out there making noise, causing all forms of charlatans and shenanigans that insurance companies are bad. Yet this character never kept his part of his bargain. So initially, maybe this person was taking a policy for his son or daughter. But along the way, because of lack of what we call financial hygiene, the guy withdraws. And then he goes there actually demonizing insurance companies. Because some of us people don't have financial hygiene. So those people who have created wealth, what they do is that they set and achieve goals. So if you do something, you're not doing it for fun. You don't eat for fun. You eat for survival. You don't wash for fun. You wash so that your pores can be able to have some space for aeration of air and what have you. So they set and achieve goals. Wealthy people don't simply expect to make more money. They plan and work toward their financial goals. They plan and work towards their goal for their financial achievements. They have a clear vision of what they want, and they take the necessary steps to get there. Some of us people even may be watching me on my YouTube channel. They had so many plans for this year. But because COVID-19 came, now every gun of failure has been traded to what we call COVID-19. And now my question begs, before COVID-19 came, what had you done? And what are we comparing you with? That in the year 2020, in the month of January, had 100 million or had 10 million or had 500,000 shillings. Now we have seen an easier route of actually now blaming COVID-19 as the mother of all battles in life. Come on. Before COVID came, you were still there. What had you achieved? And I have told you, and I'll continually repeat this, that excuses are the tools of the incompetent that build bridges that take you nowhere. It does not matter how good your excuse is. The basic fact is that whatever you had set to achieve has not been achieved. So one of the things that you must appreciate is that, just like I have given this particular example, we were all taught how to drive cars during daytime. There were no classes for night hours. No, but of course that did not mean that you can't drive a car at night. The fact that the driving school never gave you lessons at night does not necessarily mean that you'll be driving your car during daytime alone. Even those people who normally fly aircrafts, the situations up there, the situations airborne are totally different. Even when they go to the simulator, for those who understand what a simulator is, they try to create as many scenarios as possible that the pilots will be experiencing in the air. However, not all situations given at the simulator will be confronted, will confront these pilots in the air. Sometimes you have to use what we call initiative originality. So one of the things that these rich men and women do, they set and achieve their goals. You must be disciplined. One thing I have told many people, many times, if I can remember, is what we call the aspect of discipline. Some of us people, we have got no discipline. We have got no financial discipline, financial hygiene. And I'm telling you this because I've got experience. I pass my life, believe you me. One thing I want to make my viewers is that I'm not an ignorant Kenyan. I'm a Kenyan who is totally conscious of the environment that he operates in. I know the modus operandi of many people. And it pains me to see that some of us people, we think the only place where success is freely given is by definition, is through the definition in the Oxford University Dictionary. Otherwise, you have to pay a price to succeed. I'm a doctor because I went to class. I'm a lawyer because I went to class. I'm a trained theologian because I went to class. I'm an insurance person because I went to class. I'm another because I was told how to do it. So there's nothing, let me tell you, one of the things that we must do is that we must continually keep on changing the default settings. For those people who subscribe to the parental script, someni vijana muongeze pia bidii, mwisho wa kusoma utapata kazi nzuri sana. That is what we call a very dangerous script. Nowadays, the people making money are the ones who are coming up with solutions that are affecting people today. IT and what have you. So we need to think. So if you want to create wealth, set your goals and be disciplined. Follow the strategies. Follow the infrastructure that you have laid to be able to achieve that. So if you want to become wealthy, Bwana Kemeria, you must set and achieve your goals. Now, the other thing that they do, and I'm going to spend a little bit of time on this, they actively invest. Wealthy people invest. I have given you a secret of becoming wealthy men and women. I have a plan, and of course, I'll be explaining it after this, whereby I had envisaged that if 150 people or 200 serious people came on board and they bought on my idea, before 5 years are over, we shall be 7.2 billion worth. What I have heard from people since I floated the ideas are just what we call wasteful thinking. We normally say a journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step. If you want to move to the next level, you must wake up and refuse to become a prisoner of what we call good intentions. Some of us people, we are very good at giving exam. I'll go back to school. I'll build a house. I'll buy a car. I'll marry. I'll get children. Talking will never help you. Talking, Saripita will never help you. What helps you is taking action. If you are to succeed, you must take action. Why are you watching me now? You are watching me because I have already made up my mind to come and share with you what we call the secrets of building wealth. If I didn't do this, we couldn't be where we are today. You are listening to me because I took a deliberate action. It was first of all an idea in my brains, but I have now removed it from being a conceptual idea to a realistic idea because you can listen to me now. You can hear me. We are saying to build wealth, you must actively invest. I have given you a very simple avenue of creating money. Okay, I want to salute those people who have been able to invest money. And after all, that money will come back to you, not to me. That money will definitely come back to you, not Dr. Paul Kebich, not Professor Kebich, no. That money, the returns that you get from investments will be purely yours, not mine. And sometimes, you see, and I've said it, I will continually repeat, without fear of repeating myself, that what ails many people or what fails many people is that they think that maybe by doing what Kibisho is saying, Kibisho is going to benefit more. No. If I benefit along the way, may the name of God be praised. But first and foremost, can I give you a secret that I have personally used to be the person I am today? I won't tell you what I'm doing, but I know one of your colleagues, one of your viewers, one of your fellow netizens, by the name Mr. Michael Kimeria knows what I'm doing. And he knows how many millions I've already put down. He knows. Mr. Kimedia requires no, and Mr. Kimedia, you can confirm that if you're still online. You can tell them that what I'm telling you, you know what I'm doing, Mr. Michael Kimedia. I met you last week, and you know what I'm doing. You can even confirm to them what I'm doing. And you're aware that that's not a 1 million or 2 million project. Yes, I'm an investor. And I know how to invest. And I talk about things that I have done. So I'm telling you, my brother, my sister, stop now. You have talked enough in the past. I have shared so much information on investment, but I'm seeing, the rate of reaction is quite deplorable. The rate of reaction is quite warning, because the purpose of information is to transform you. You get transformed. You get the word. The purpose of information is to transform, not to conform. So once you get the information, you become transformed. And you must aspire to inspire before you expire. You must aspire to inspire before you expire. So I'm inspiring you wherever you are. You can also drive that expensive car. You can live in the most lively suburbs in Nairobi or any other region in the Republic of, or even beyond the Republic of Kenya. Who said you can't own a house in South Africa? Who said you can't own a house in Miami? Who said you can't own a house in Germany? That is all in the mind. Personally, I believe that in the fullness of time, I own my own helicopter. You may think the dream is too big. It is too big to you, but to me, it's achievable. No mountain is insurmountable. It's all in the mind. When people heard that I'm going back to school to do my PhD, some of them, people, they were saying they developed what we call a wait and see attitude. I challenged them by going to class and coming up with my doctorate. So those people who say there is no failure without attempting, Mr. Kimedia. You must attempt, Mr. Gabriel Gishia. The fact that you're at Taita Taveta University should not stop you from thinking of getting a master's, a PhD, and even beyond PhD, you have what we call postdoctorate. Can even go beyond PhD, you get a postdoctorate, can even get a second PhD. So rich men, they actively invest. I'm going to talk about investment after this. I'm first of all giving you what we call the secrets of building wealth. Then after this, I'll have a small stint of time to share with you what I'm planning to do and give you the instructions that you need to follow so that you can become a member. I'm starting an investment club. I'll mention it at this point in time, Madam Sare Peter. I'm starting a serious investment club, not for everybody. I do not want people who fear, because fear actually is the greatest killer of any dream. Why should you fear? If our sisters and mothers were to fear, we could not have been given birth to. They took the bull by the horns. They decided, yes, many women have died when they are giving birth, but I'm not going to be part of those statistics. They maintained optimism, and through optimism, we came into life. Yes, so stop this fear. When you take an aircraft, when you take a flight to Dubai, when you take a flight to Casablanca in Morocco, when you take a flight to Netherlands through Schiphol International Airport, when you take a flight to Italy through Fiumicino International Airport, if you go to Qatar through Hamad International Airport, when you go to South Africa through John Smart International Airport, when you go to UK, New York through John F. Kennedy International Airport, when you go to UK through Heathrow International Airport, or when you go to Birmingham through Gatwick International Airport, you are not the person in charge of that aircraft. Even if you were anyway, you have other extraneous variables that may bring disaster to you, but that has not confined you into your house. Even today, you woke up and went where you work. You were not assured of going back home. You took a risk. So if you don't take risk, you're in the wrong universe. You need to be in a universe of your own. So we are talking about they actively invest, and you don't invest what we call the remnant. You don't invest what we call the balances after you have done other things. You take a deliberate action. You take a deliberate action. Personally, I do. I started investing when I was a very young man. I have no regrets. Let people say what they want to say, but me, I'm not a failure in life, and I'll never die a failure. No, I believe no mountain, I have told you again, no mountain is insurmountable. Success and failure lies between your 2 ears. So, Bwana Michael Kimedia and your friends, we are saying that you need to invest. What are you waiting for? I have given you an idea of getting 24% return on the money that you invest per annum. I thank God for those who have put their few millions, a few hundred thousands. That's wonderful. Even Indian Ocean is an ocean of its magnitude and size, because all the rivers and tributaries, they put the money there. So once you invest and you start putting your money somewhere, you start growing your wealth. But you don't grow your wealth by putting your money under the blanket or under the mattress. Rich men, they maintain stable employment. Let me tell you something. They say wealthiest retirees stayed with one employer for a long period of time, because this one offered rewards. They got what we call salary increments, they accessed their loans, and they accessed what we call loyalty. I remember I worked with one company for 21 solid years. I worked with a company called Pan-Africa Life, which is now known as Sanlam Insurance Company, for 21 solid years. The Pajeros I drove, the Prados I drove, the Mercedes Benzes I drove, the houses I built were courtesy of working for that company for 21 years. Avoid being a job nomad. Today you are here, you're in Safaricom, you're in Airtel. From Airtel, you go to Telecom. From Telecom, you find yourself going back to Safaricom. You lose benefits. Stick to one place so that by the time you're leaving that particular employer, you can get what we call a pay package, which we refer to as an exit package. You can be given what we call a golden handshake. So loyalty is key. Loyalty to everything, whether to marriage, be loyal to your spouse, whether to your career, be loyal to your career. You must be a person whose philosophy is clearly defined, not a person who is actually an enigma of a person. So they allowed these people who create wealth, they allowed themselves with experts. I want to salute all those men and women who have seriously looked for me. We have shared a lot of information with you. I've helped you. You know yourselves, and I promised one thing: I'll never mention your name in my platforms. My professional ethics does not allow me that. When I was doing law degree, I was taught about what we call work ethics, business values, and ethics. But I want to salute all those who know what I'm talking about, including my brothers and sisters and my police officers somewhere, a few police officers somewhere, whom I've shared with. They come to me, we sit down. We don't take beer. We just have a drink, maybe either a glass of juice, a glass of water, but we share and they go home better people. So we are saying they surround themselves with experts. Who are your friends? I have told you on many occasions that some of us people have got the wrong friends in our lives. And that is where we are not making any progress in our lives. That when you meet, you talk about girlfriends, you talk about mipango ya kando, you talk about things that don't add value to you. You talk about politics. What does Kurubaro has to do with your life? You need to know, we have got so many presidential candidates. But what is your interest? Your interest is to look for somebody who can be able to articulate issues from an economic point of view to create an enabling environment for you to excel in your business, not somebody who's coming giving you handouts. So you don't have time I don't think I am able to give a political space for more than 10, 15 minutes. Yes, I'll be in the process of deciding, but I don't spend my time talking about that. Because, for instance, President Uhuru Kenyatta has been my president for 10 years. He comes from my tribe, but how has he impacted my life positively? The former president, Emilio Moi Kibaki, his origin was where my dad came from, Modaya. But how did his presidency help me as an individual? So it is all hot here when people say that we have one of our own as a president. The question is, whatever, even next year, I'm going to mention this at this point in time, even next year, whoever becomes the president, he's not going to put food on your table. He's not going to say children for you. He's not going to pay school fees for you. He's not going to drive you home. No, you still do your businesses. Stick to your line. Do your things. Pray to God that you may have what we call peaceful elections, that you may have a leader, irrespective, whether he comes from Ogieki, whether he comes from Shaga, whether he comes from Mijikeda, whether he comes from Arab community, I don't care. What I care personally is who will be able to create for me an enabling environment that I can sit in my office the way I'm doing without fear of being shot by thugs, without fear of being attacked by hooligans. That is my interest, period. And I hope that you share the same feeling with me. And if you do, you can drop me a text on my wall. So we are saying that they surround themselves with experts. Who are your friends? Whom do you associate yourself with? Wealthy people don't do even their own taxes. No. They use other people to meet their objectives in life. So wealthy people, they do that. The other thing that wealthy people do, and I have told you this one in the past, and those people who know me, they know exactly what I'm doing. If I say that I have some Ubers on the road, some of you won't believe it. I don't just wait for the salary that I get paid by Tagasa University because of teaching, or any university that invites me to go and do teaching. No, I do other things. I don't like calling them side hustles because the word hustle has been properly defined in the dictionary, and the definition is quite disturbing. So why people use the word hustle to meet their, or rather to have their preferred choices of words, I don't know why. But I'm saying I do a lot of things. So they value having multiple sources of income. How many sources of income do you have yourself as an individual? Are you just waiting for the salary, especially the salaried people? Every 29th, every 30th, kuna smoke. Equity imeingia, Absa imeingia, COP imeingia. Those ask questions of whether imeingia is a very bad sign. It's a sign of financial failure. Fine. We appreciate that we must start from somewhere, but you cannot continually be the poor person. You need to ask yourself, what if that pay was stopped? What if that pay? Thank you very much, Mr. Martin Jogon. I'll explain to you maybe at the tail end of this discussion. So what is it? You need to ask yourself, supposing that person who has been paying you that salary stops it, it can be stopped. You saw the other day when COVID came in, salaries were slashed by almost 2/3. So if your business has been behaving like a high clearing and forwarding philosophy, you'll be in for a rude shock. If you have children, and I have said this one, I will still repeat again here. You have children, you have not consulted me to come and sell it to you an education policy because you think Kibisho will benefit more. Shauri yako. Because in the fullness of time, school fees will be required. So if I did not expect you to stay idle, assuming that the heavens will open for you to get school fees coming like manna, you need to start planning for that child. When our sisters became pregnant, when our wives or when yes they became pregnant, we knew what responsibilities that we are on the way coming. So we must start planning early enough. So wealthy people, they don't rely on one source of income. They have a social security package. They have a pension scheme. They have what we call part-time work. They have some rental income. They have a portfolio account. So they guarantee their sources of income. They have got so many other sources of income, which we refer to as the Aussie philosophy, other sources of income. I don't rely on one source of income. Yes, I may be getting a few rental incomes here and there, but I have other things that I do. I write books. These books have given me good money, and I thank God for it. So I don't just have the knowledge in my mind alone. I have these books. Unfortunately, majority of you people watching me here, maybe only one or two have read my book, and it's amazing. If you have been liking my information I have shared with you all along, why haven't you taken a bit of time to get a point of reference? Yes, you can go back and of course you play this video, but the question is, why can't you? Not everybody will get time to go to my video. You can even give it to your spouse, to your child to read. So you need to get yourself a copy. But the problem with us, as I've always told you, especially we Africans and more so Kenyan people, we don't treasure reading. That is why you have got so many fools in Kenya. That's why a company can come and go with what we call a humongous 3.5 billion shillings for the fools, because wajika ndio wengi na wajika ndio waliuawa. So they value having what we call many sources of income. Now they believe, those people who become wealth, they believe in being busy doing something, adding value to them. They do not have time. Okay, they do have their social time for unwinding, but that social time is properly designated. Not just during your working time. They know when to go and, of course, have a sitting. How many times do you find yourself spending 2 hours saying nothing? What, like now, today, it's Tuesday. What have you done from 6 in the morning? Now it's approaching, it's 6:10. What have you been doing since morning? Have you added yourself any value? Did you just spend the whole day talking about wheelbarrow economics? Did you spend the whole day talking about Asimiola or Umoja? Did you spend, what were you doing? What were you doing the whole day? That's my question. 7 stars Hastings tuned in Seattle, Washington, and soon I'll be booked for an appointment or WhatsApp. Thank you very much, Mr. Don't call yourself 7 stars Hastings. Maybe you need to give yourself a name, but I appreciate you. Thank you so much, Mr. Stephen Karinga. Hello, Dr. Kebisho. You're an inspiration to Kenyans. Thank you so much. I also appreciate you people, because feedback gives me the courage to continually share this information. You have not paid for it anyway, but I do it for you entirely because I know out of maybe 1 million people who listen to me, maybe 200,000 people will have their life changed. Not even 200,000. The Bible says Jesus came for one who was lost. So if my coming to you via this video program will help you, I would really appreciate. Thank you very much, Mr. Stephen Karenga. Thank you very much, 7 stars Hastings, or just call you like that. I know what Mr. Kemeria was asking, and I know what Mr. Jugona. Still continually drop any questions that you have, kindly drop them there. Even for those people in diaspora, if you want to contact me, once I give the number, you'll be guided by my PA, my personal assistant. Let me first of all explain why I normally use my PA. Right now, I've just come back from a very serious investment meeting from Caleb. I was talking to very serious investors, and we have agreed a lot of things. And we have implemented a number of things that we were discussing. So I also look forward to engaging with you at personal level. I want to salute, I will not mention her name. I want to salute you, madam, who is at actually East African University in Kitengera. Thank you so much. You really made me proud. You did what I told you. You invested your money. You brought me your friends. I salute you. May God bless you. You know yourself. As usual, I don't mention names. But from this place called East African University, Itengera, I salute you. Thank you so much for the wonderful reception. Thank you very much for enabling me to know other people. Thank you so much, Madam Rebecca Waithera, my good friend Rebecca Waithera. I salute you. Rebecca Waithera, don't panic. I'm going to explain a few things pertaining our investment shortly. And I salute you people who continually said some texts on my wall. In case I hurt any one of you, I have said many times, I'm not an angel. I'm in the same earth that you are in. And of course, the Bible says, forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. And sometimes when I give my testimony, it is not meant to hurt anybody, just to encourage you to know that God can change things, God can make things happen. So we proceed. or either you'll get in touch, you'll actually update yourself as we move on. So we are saying that those people who create, one secret of creating wealth is ensuring that the time that you're spending is adding value to you. So I was posing this question to all of you. Between 6 a.m., for me, I wake up at 4 a.m. every day. I can't be sleeping at 4. Or doing what at 4 a.m.? Doing what at 4 a.m.? If I sleep early, I don't take beer. I've never taken beer. I'm not saying that those people who take beer, they do bad thing. They do a bad thing. No, but you need to ask yourself, how does it, what is the outcome? What is the output? How do you manage it? Because the problem with Kenyans, and I've told you, when they go to the pub, how do they take their beer? They take their beer when they are busy putting their beer either on their glasses like this. As they take their beer, they are still looking at the other beers at the counter. Waiter, one more beer. That's how they take it. If you behave like that and you take beer like that, you are completely wasted. I met some guys yesterday in Kalatina. Again, I want to thank those guys who invited me in Kalatina yesterday. I left Kalatina very late in the evening yesterday. I met 7 men in Kalatina. And it was amazing. We had a wonderful discussion. Those are the guys, so far, because I'll be talking about it to Madam Mulebeko Idira shortly, I've already gotten 75 members who have come on board on my investment project. So I'm going to tell you at the tail end of this discussion what I expect you to do to become part of this investment club. We are going to become wealthy in Jesus' name. We are going to have our monies. We are going to have what we call passive incomes, landing to millions of shillings per month. We will be financially independent. We are tired of chasing money without getting it right. I'm going to give you what we call the tips of getting it right. So we are saying that those wealthy people, they don't just spend their time without doing what we call value analysis. You must do what we call value time analysis. What value have you added to yourself today? What have I done today? When I woke up in the morning, what did I do? I can even account for every hour. I left my house at this time, had my car washed somewhere. From there, I drove to my office, my other office in town, did a few things, met with my bosses, because I also have bosses, by the way. So I still work. Yes, people will get surprised. I still work. I work for many companies personally. I teach in a university. I write books. I manage my businesses. I manage Panorama Consulting Company. I manage Panorama College Business College. I manage Kibmark Insurance Agencies. I'm a financial consultant at Britam. I'm an independent financial consultant at Standard Investment Bank. And I do consultancies out there. I do that. And that is why I told you one good thing about this guy called Mr. Mr. Anton Robbins, and this man, the author of the book, Robert Kiyosaki, is that the poorest of them all is the one who relies on one source of income. James Bogwa, hello, Dr. Kibisha. My life is account of your YouTube. I thank God. Can I get some testimonies now as we move on? Thank you very much, Mr. James Bogwa. I've gotten you right. That your life, of course, I know what you wanted to say. My life is, okay, let me say heading well because of your YouTube channel. I met a young man who was calling me on my on his motorbike. I wish he can also maybe share the same testimony on this wall. Somebody whom I was paying 200, 300 shillings was able to make 100,000 shillings from the proceeds I was paying him, or ferrying me from the office from Bank House to MKU House, Moi Avenue, when I was doing my law degree for 4 years before we shifted to Parklands campus. Imagine that man told me that he made 100,000 shillings that has enabled him to start a very big business where he's getting more than 300,000 shillings. What else? That is enough evidence. That is enough satisfying testimony that makes me tell God, Bwana Yesu asifiwe. So I'm also challenging you people listening to me. Don't just become listeners. I want you to become active listeners, people who take a step. So I'll be giving you something later on. Thank you very much, Mr. James Bogwa. Mr. Hastings from Seattle, Washington. I also encourage you to let me, as many people know in the diaspora, that Kibisha normally has got what we call this TV channel that helps people to make decisions about their directions in life. So we are saying that those people who create wealth, they do what we call value time analysis. How much time have you spent adding value to yourself? Then we say they are cautious about their spending. Wealthy people, they are very, very cautious. You know, those people who have got 50,000 shillings in the bank account, those who have got 100,000 shillings in the bank account, they think they own the whole world. I'm telling you, there's some individuals, when they have 100,000 shillings, They go buying beer to everybody who comes across them because they think to them that 100,000 shillings is 1 billion. No, rich men, wealthy men, they don't just spend their money anyhow. They spend their money in a very responsible manner. They don't even let 10 shillings go. By the way, wealthy people don't give tips. I haven't, on very, very rare occasions, do other people give tips. They don't give tips. As a matter of fact, what they do is that they even wait for the 10 shillings change. How many times do you wait for your 10 shillings, Mr. Gabriel Geshia? And you don't even have money, but you go throwing. If you throw 10 shillings to 10 people, that's 100 shillings. Who gave you that money? I normally remind you, I'm not mean. When I meet with you in a hotel, when I'm taking my lunch or dinner or supper, I'll buy you, of course. Even for those who take one for the road, I don't mind. The fact that I don't take does not mean that I can't buy you. I'll buy you. After all, you're mature enough. You know why you're taking it. But for you to become wealthy, you must also become a bit cautious on how you spend your money. They are not wasteful. Wealthy people are not wasteful. I will surprise you and I'll continually repeat this. Mr. Warren Buffett, one of the richest guys in the world, and you can even go to what we call Forbes, listing of the wealthy people. He has been born for more than 10, 15 times. He's living in the same house that he lived in. The problem, especially with us Kenyans, when you, by the way, and I'm not proud, I have been to over 102 countries worldwide. And I'll repeat this, I've got 6 passports full of stamps. I think I'm one of the most traveled ordinary Kenyans. From now, the top cream, from our leaders. Of course, from His Excellency President Uhuru Kenyatta, President Moi Kibaki, the late President Moi, and of course, the former deputy, the former Vice President Kalonzo Musyoka, who made so many trips because of what we call shuttle diplomacy. And I'll tell you this, go to Italy. For those people maybe watching me from Italy, they have very small cars. They drive very, very small cars, which are electrically charged. They don't fuel those cars. As a matter of fact, they charge them. They have what we call designated places where they go charging their cars. If you go to France, I was in France. I was staying in a hotel called La Cifayette. That is in Paris, opposite Eiffel Towers, for those who understand that place called Paris. It is not called Paris, it is called Paris. I stayed there for a whole week. In Paris, you still found the same small cars. If you go to Netherlands, I was in Netherlands, I even went to Hague, but I had no case. When I went even to, I was in Amsterdam, the same thing, small cars. But come to Kenya, for last people to know that you have gotten money, the first thing that you buy is a Fiat or a Range Rover or a Porsche Cayenne. Those are the cars that you go buying, or Lamborghini or Aston Martin. No, those people, if you want to create wealth, you are not wasteful. Because right now, for instance, I'm giving my own example. I drove my SUV car to Roytok when I had a seminar. Of course, it was catered for. I had sufficiently charged the client to take care of even the tea and wear because I'm not a fool. And I normally factor in the time I spent preparing my lesson, the time I was spent teaching those people, and the time I was spent on the load, as well as what we call the tea and wear. Now, you see, my car consumed 13,550. And I know if Mr. Ken is watching me, you know what I'm talking about. So do you have the luxury of spending that kind of money, for instance? If you're not sufficiently paid or compensated, why should you do that? Why do you require? We said, well, the men or women, they don't engage in what we call showbiz. Avoid showbiz. They avoid what we call wasting. Something else that they do, and I want to explain now to Mr. Kimeria, is that they pay themselves first. This concept of paying yourself first, I've really spoken about it many, many times. I want to once again talk about it, paying yourself first. How does paying yourself first come in? Let me know, Mr. Kimeria, you can say, are you present? Because I'm repeating it because of you, Mr. Kimeria, Michael Kimeria, because you want me to explain what I mean by paying yourself first. Then I go to then I'll go to Mr. Martin Jogona. I'll be explaining what we call the rat race. Are you there, Mr. Michael Kemedia? Because I want to explain. If you're not there, I'm not going to explain because I have explained how to pay yourself first. So let's start this now. What we do, please note this, and I have told you in the past, how, let me first of all caution you. The problem with us people is that we just hear and we don't implement. How do you pay yourself first? Let's say, first of all, we start this. And I'm going to just maybe demonstrate for the sake of those people who want to learn more from me. Let me just demonstrate. Now, hope whatever you are, you can be able to see. We assume that you earn 100,000 shillings. I'm only assuming, I'm giving it as an example. You earn 100,000 shillings. So after the deductions, what we call the statutory deductions, your net pay is 75,000. I'm only assuming 75,000 shillings. So we have what we call the gross pay, which is what we call 100,000. Total deductions 75,000. Then we come to net pay 25,000 shillings. I normally give a very basic example. Thank you very much, Mr. Kangede. I'm happy to thank you very much for your explanation. Thank you so much. So, Bwana Kangede, listen to this because I also want you to talk to me after this. And I'm going to once again to give you, okay, I'll give you my PA number, but also give you my personal number, how you can drop me on a DM on my WhatsApp or maybe a text. For instance, my wife has employed a house girl and she pays her 15,000 shillings. And I normally like you giving this example. So if you divide that the 15,000 by 30, because what you get paid per month is purely a product of a day payment. So this lady gets 500 shillings per day. Then I say, where does this lady eat from? She eats from my house, our house. She bathes from our house. Electricity is from our house. Everything. So add her another 500 shillings. So you pay your house girl 1,000 shillings. Mr. Kimeria, you know that I have got some people working for me wherever they are. I pay that man who is called the foreman or the project manager per day 2,000 shillings, 2,500 shillings per day. I pay his deputy 2,000 shillings per day. I go foodie na mulipa 1,250 na mtu wa mkono 500. So let me not even go far. I can also even demonstrate using my HR manager and my branch office admin together with my deputy CEO. So if my wife pays this house girl 1,000 shillings per day, if I'm paying my project manager 2,500 shillings per day, how much then am I supposed to be paid myself? Because I'm the one who pays others. Then you must give yourself a value. So if you are paying, for instance, the project manager 2,500 shillings per day, then at least you should pay yourself 3 times. That is 7,500 shillings. This money is not what you go taking beer. This money is not what you take to buy yourself a new suit or a new pair of shoes. No, this is the money that you keep so safe somewhere in an investment vehicle that would later on translate either into a passive pension scheme. So, Mr. Kemeria, I hope you have understood what I've told you. And because you know what I'm doing, I'm saying that I'm paying my workers. I'm only giving an example. My project manager, I'm paying him 2,500. I'm paying the deputy project manager 2,000. I'm paying Fudi Wamawe, Mason 1,250. I'm paying Tuamkono 500. My wife is paying the house girl 1,000 shillings, which translates into that 1,000 shillings. So if I can pay my project manager, for instance, what do you do? First of all, you combine all these monies. So if you are paying 25 plus 2, that is 45 plus 450, 5750 plus 550, you are paying 5,800 shillings per day to those people who work for you. You should pay yourself times 3 if possible. So in other words, you should be paying yourself 17,400 shillings every day. And that money should not actually be part of the expenditure in your house. No, this is money that you specifically set aside for your tomorrow, specifically set aside for your investments. So if I were you, I should even have a project where I put a direct debit or a standing order in the bank where this money continually goes to create my wealth for later use. That is what we call paying yourself first, giving yourself a value per day. If, for instance, you're a teacher who gets paid 60,000 shillings per day, it is therefore evident that your employer pays you 2,000 shillings every day. So if you are getting paid 2,000 shillings every day, then you need to ask yourself, if you have somebody that you are paying something out of this income, you should also pay yourself first because you're the one generating money for that particular project that you have undertaken. And this money that you pay yourself should not be used in the family issues or family financial matters or even paying tithe. This is specifically money that you keep aside, you give yourself a value that will continually add financial gain and returns to meet a certain objective that you have set for yourself. That is what you call paying yourself first, Mr. Kemedia. Then let me explain what we call the rat race. Thank you very much, Mr. Martin Jogona. Rat race means, for instance, let me ask you a question. Are you very, very comfortable on a rented house? Yes. If you have been paying rent for the last 10 years or 12 years, and you have not thought about your own project in life of owning a house or owning a roof over your head, you have a problem. You are also in rat race. Because the more you pay the rat rod, there is no less due value. When I talk about less due value, thank you so much, Mr. Gabriel Geshia. I appreciate Doctor, you're my all-time mentor. I'm a third-year student, Bachelor of Science, Industrial Chemistry. I appreciate for all the lessons that you share with us. I can truly say investing is great. Thank you so much, Mr. Yeshia. So what I was saying is this. I don't expect you to Mr. Martin Jogona, listen to this first of all. I gave an example in Nairobi. I live in Nairobi, my office is in Nairobi. At exactly 5 p.m., all employed people in Nairobi, and they drive because they love driving. And when you see people driving in Nairobi, these are people who waste their money for no reason. Why should you drive a car in the central business district? And your office is, for instance, Stanley Hotel. Your office is actually at what we call Union House. You can comfortably, conveniently take a matatu. Think of the money that you spend fueling that car, or in the name of being recognized, or having what we call psychic satisfaction. You are not a marketer like me. You are not a consultant like me. Once you report to your desk, you leave that desk at 5 p.m. and then you buy a car. You let it spend the car spends the whole day packed without generating any income. You fueled that car. You bought insurance. There and where. You're not wise. I'm only using what we call a very polite word. You're not wise, Mr. Martin Jogona. Rat race. At 5 p.m., all employees in Nairobi is when they leave the office. When they leave the office, what do? They create traffic jams. So they stay in the traffic jam for 2 hours or 3 hours, burning their fuel there and where, wasting time. That's what we call rat race. Because now, you all live at the same time. And I've been asking people, why can't you register for a degree course or a diploma course? You go and spend 2 hours in class or 2.5 hours in class so that you leave class at about 8:30. There will be no traffic. You spend less fuel if you have to drive your car, and you spend less time going home. If you have been renting a house for more than 5, 10, 15 years, by virtue of you being able to pay rent every month, you have the capacity also to save money somewhere, more so in a circle, where you can borrow money and buy a plot and put as a permanent house. Who said that those people who sleep on corrugated iron sheet homes, they don't sleep? They do sleep more comfortable because they're in their own premises. So I urge all those people, including my tenants, I will not mention them here, that it is good that you continually build some money, build some capital that you can use now to secure your own place. So rat race means, Mr. Martin, that you are spending your money, but you have got no end result. You have no end result in the final analysis. So you must always be working with an objective. You must have a specific objective. Why are you doing this, and what value will it add to you? Let me not explain further than that. Let me go to the last points, then we go to the next bit because time is far much gone. So I've said that rich men or wealthy people, they allowed themselves. I hope Mr. Martin Jogona have been able to meet your expectations. Same with Mr. Kemeria Michael. So they allowed themselves with experts. So imagine all of you watching me. And today we had the highest number of people actually watching me from wherever they are. Thank you so much, Mr. Michael Kemeria, for your feedback. That's what we call in communication. Communication is never complete without a feedback. Thank you so much, Mr. Michael Kimedia. I hope, Mr. Jogona, also, you have learned a few things. But of course, should you require more now, in depth, you can always pay me a visit. And remember, and I say this without of humility, I do charge people when they come into my office. If you step in this red carpet, you have to pay. This is what we call the consultation fee, which will be explained to you by my able executive personal assistant. So let me stop there because in the next few minutes, I'll be thank you so much. Okay, welcome, Mr. Francis Wainaina. Francis Wainaina. Why does your name sound familiar? Francis Wainaina. Okay. I think I know you, Mr. Francis Wainaina. Welcome on board. Thank you so much, Mr. Martin Jogona, for your feedback. I appreciate you. Is there any question before we call it a day? After this, I'm going to share with you. Now, how do we create the 7.2 billion empire? How do we create the 7.2 billion empire? And what is our expectations? I have the idea with me. If you buy this idea, in 5 years' time, poverty will be a thing of the past. Struggling will be a thing of the past. But remember, for you to harvest, you must do what we call land tilling. If you don't till your land, don't expect to harvest. Because miracles don't just happen. Even when this lady called Hannah was being ridiculed by Penina, one thing that God did, he did not just perform a miracle for Hannah. He told Hannah, go and look for Elkanah. Go and look for Elkanah. So after looking for Elkanah, that is when now the child came by the name Samuel. And you know who Samuel became later in life. So please, no pain, no gain. You must go through pain to gain. And the best gold passes through the hottest furnace. So let me first of all give, for those people who want to know more about maybe even investing for yourself, for your pension, for your children, even creating wealth for yourself. We've been talking, since I started, we've been talking about secrets of building wealth, which I have shared with you about maybe 20 points. Kindly take a bit of time and text me. I would prefer that you text me. You can even WhatsApp me. You can even email me. So let me first of all give you my personal number in the event that you want maybe to talk to me, because I've seen somebody who has promised to talk to me privately after this. And I'm still thinking about Mr. Francis Wainaina. We must have met Francis Wainaina. Must have met somewhere, maybe in the course of this week. So, life. Okay. I'm just checking because somebody wanted to. Okay, I'll get you right, whatever you are. So, in case you want to drop me an email, my email is very simple. You can even, I thank God there's somebody who dropped an email because I'm in my office. I can be able even to check from my computer. And I thank God. I wish I could. It's only that I don't like making things public. I just want to let you know that I'll lead without necessarily. These are people who have had me on the TV, on my YouTube channel. And this guy is here. I'm not. Hi, Dr. Paul. My name is so and so. I've been following your advice on how to invest on your YouTube channel. I have a number of assets, but it has been hard for me the way forward. In short, I have pieces of land, some developed, others not. A good cash at bank. I'm 53 years old and have got 4 kids. But at college, kindly talk to me and let me know how I can be able. So I even have the number here. I want to salute you once again. Thanks, I'm your student, though I'm not paying school fees. See, those are the kind of comments I hear. Anyway, I salute you. I'll be giving you the feedback. I can see you. May God bless you. Kindly, if you can drop me, thank you. This is another person called Mr. Kamau Mwangi. Thank you. So these are the testimonies I want to hear. Let me read. Maybe you can be able to access my wall from that side. I don't know. Kamau Mwangi, have been following your financial advice and have made a good progress. Keep up the good work. Thank you so much, Mr. Kamau Mwangi. I feel honored. I feel humbled. Thank you for the feedback. Even those others who have given me feedback, I salute all of you. Kindly do what I tell you. I'm an expert. For those people, if you treasure what we call education, if you know what we call experience, I have exponential. I've been able to grow exponentially in terms of information. Do what I'm telling you. We can be meeting playing golf. I am not proud, but I play golf at Sigona. I'm a golfer at Sigona Golf Club, but I thank God for that. I have no apologies to make. I meet rich men, wealthy men there. I also pray there. Why? Yes, I was born in a forest, but I never condemned myself. Why should you condemn yourself? Who said that you can only walk like an animal? Who said that you must live on rented houses? Who said that you can't enjoy taking a flight to Dubai, Abu Dhabi? Why can't you fly to places like Miami? Why can't you fly to places like Connecticut? Why can't you go to places like Chicago and see what happens there? You go to Missouri, you go to Indiana. Why can't you go to New York? Why can't you go to Washington, D.C.? Those people living there, they're human beings like you. Let me tell you, imitation is the mother of limitation. Don't imitate others. Be original. God created you as an original. Why do you want to become a duplicate? So, thank you. So today we have had the highest class. 22 people present. I salute all of you. Thank you so much for finding time. I want to take this time to sincerely thank this lady called Madam. Is a lady who has continually followed me for a long time, and she has made Rebecca Waidera. I have no words. All the way from Qatar. Thank you so much. Once again, my brother from Seattle, Mr. Kangede, I don't take you for granted. But please keep on informing the other colleagues wherever they are when I'm coming on board, so that you can share. Thank you so much, Mr. Michael Kimeria. Once again, you have always been in my class. So learn to pay. Keep some money aside. And just before I give you my email address, remember, human beings have the ability to create problems equivalent to the amount of money available. When you were earning 1,000 shillings, life was okay. When you were earning 2,000 shillings, life was okay. Now, how come you get confused? Remember in one of my YouTube channels, the confusion of abundance. I don't know how many of you have listened to that particular YouTube, that video, the confusion of abundance and the danger of fame. I have put everything for you there. I will surprise you that people think that either Kebisho lives in Luda, Karen, or Mudaiga. I don't live in those places. I live where I'm comfortable. I don't lead life as per people's perception. I lead my life. I learn my race. You must learn to run your race. So my email address is paulkebicho@gmail.com. 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 don't think I require even to write it there, of course you can still say. So let me just, Paul, for those people who may cause my pronunciation, somebody told me, there's a guy who told me from Nyeri, Paul Kebisho, that I shilab a lot, but I told him I'm a doctor, he is not. Paul Kebisho at gmail.com. My PA numbers, I think I've given you that, sorry, just a minute. Paul Kebicho, because Kebicho at gmail.com. So, you know, there are people who they only see what we call bad things. I told him if he learned something from me, I'll appreciate. If he learned something from me, if he did not learn something from me because of maybe the problem I have with my SH and CH, he says that I say channel instead of channel. But you understand what I mean by that, anyway. After all, I have passed all the exams, including law, and I did what we call the oral exams. So you can just, my PA number is this, 530. You can see now on your, I have put it there. That's my PA number. The lady is called Mary Njogu. So you can talk to Madam Mary Njogu. She's my personal assistant. You'll be guided more. The number is there. Then, should you want to talk to me directly, please, I request you not to call. Because if you call, I may not be able to answer. And all of you now appreciate why. If I'm a medical doctor and I'm in the operation room, and I'm busy now trying to dissect maybe the heart or something else, maybe the liver, maybe the diaphragm, and then you call me. Of course, you know we don't go with what you call the medical doctors, surgeons never go with phones in the operation room. So similarly, because we also offer the same, use the same mouth, kindly make sure that you use my facilities. And I really appreciate you. Ibrahim, oh, thank you very much, Mr. Daniel Kamau. Great lesson. God bless you. Ibrahim Jogona, best class I have had today. Thank you so much, Mr. Ibrahim Jogona. I appreciate you so much. Once again, Rebecca Waidera, you are an amazing lady. I have never met you personally, but you're an amazing lady. Mr. Kemeria, I have no words. Of course, you know, Mr. Kemeria, me, I'm a serious person. Whatever I say, I do. I appreciate you. You're my brother. We've lived together with you for quite some time. The rest, thank you so much, Mr. Peter Kimamo. Thank you very much, Mr. Francis Wainaina. I suspect Mr. Francis Wainaina is my daughter's teacher. Yes, my memory is very good. Mr. Francis Wainaina must be my daughter's teacher in wherever she goes to school, wherever she is in school. Mr. Martin Jogona, I salute you so much. Michael Kimedia, once again, thank you so much. Gabriel Gishia, I wish you the very best. Kindly be serious, pursue your education. In the fullness of time, God is going to bless you. Ephraim Karaja, thanks so much. Mr. Kangede from Seattle, thank you so much. James Bogwa, I salute you. Rebecca, thank you so much once again. Mudhaniwa Kamau, thank you for getting that book. I got the book, Shemin, about the idiot rich. Thank you so much. And the rest of you. At that point now, in the next few minutes, I'll be coming back shortly to discuss about what it is that I want us to do. I'll be using my calculator a lot because I want to prove to you the idea that I have. And I want to share with you how to become part of that. Let's fast forward our class. I think this is the longest class I've ever had since I started producing what we call YouTube content. But I thank God, I think I've not wasted your time. If you have appreciated, I thank God for you. And I look forward to you people becoming wealthy so that our lives can be better. Thank you so much and God bless. So I'll be joining you shortly on what we call the idea that I have to make money. Thank you so much. Shalom.